I don't expect this last video to take too long. I'm just going to kind of go over exporting your Hangar to Flight Simulator here real quick. Um, Alright, so we have our texture, and of course I didn't make a night texture for that. If you're new to my channel, you can check out one of the earlier, I think it's from the Hangar tutorial series, that deals with creating night textures. Basically, you create a new layer, make it completely black, and erase places where you want light to show, basically. Um, let's see here. I wonder if I could maybe do that real quick. I mean, basically all there is to this is take a black color, make a new layer here. Better select all too. Okay. And we're going to just bring down opacity. And then you just take your eraser, up the scale a little bit, select the area you want to edit, select this door for example, and I really ought to have another door just on the side of the hangar, so you should probably texture one of those in on yours, so that so what we're going to do is going to put a couple lights here basically. Gotta undo that though, because I'm pretty sure this is the top of the door over here. I'm going to make a guide, put it right here, and then you just take your thing, your eraser, erase some of that black, maybe put 3 across here, and of course you do a little more precise than I am. Might undo that and get this one a little more centered. You know, or you can change aspect ratio, you know, make this thing a little longer like that, and you could go, you know, anyhow, that's all there is to making night textures. And then once you're done, you just set the layer back to complete opacity and export that. Anyhow, not much to that. We're going to go ahead and export this hangar. One thing I want to mention though, this will come later in your models, when you start using modifiers. I have found that you need to make sure all the modifiers are applied before you export. So, let me just add a modifier real quick. Let's just say if you used an array. So that basically duplicates your object how many times. I mean, you can make a ton of hangars if you wanted. Kind of cool actually. And you can also change the offset, you know, so they space out more or anything. It's really a cool modifier actually. But you have to make sure you apply this modifier before you export. So, and that goes for any modifier. But anyhow, we don't need any here. We're just going to export as is. I'm going to go ahead and just go to one window here. Go back to my 3D view. Go to my front view. I'm going to make sure this hangar is selected. I'm going to grab it and go line it up so that it's just above the whoops. Line it up so it's just above the red axis here. Right there. Zoom in a lot more because we want this to pretty much be pretty precise. Right there, that'll be close enough. Okay, that's that. We can go back, look at our texture again. Alright, let's go ahead and export this. We're going to export as a collada file, so .dae. I'm going to go ahead and export this to my desktop where I can find it easily. Alright, yeah, just export that. And then I'm going to go to my texture folder. Wherever it is. Documents. Spokane textures. Hangar tutorial base. There it is. Alright, I'm going to copy it and move it to the same location on my computer as the collada file. And that way we can load it into MCX. Alright, so we're in Model Converter X here. or you've probably seen this before. You just go to Wizards, Convert and Place Object Wizard. We'll go ahead and say Desktop. And before I do this, let me go ahead and use this night texture thing. So I'm going to say Export and call this Night. Just so I can show you how this works. I'll also go ahead and export to my desktop. Okay. Now back to Model Converter X. Get this object imported. So we say select file to convert, and then we set this to DIE files. Select our file. Alright, so you notice when you import it, unlike something like a SketchUp hanger, you won't see your textures on your hanger right off when you import it into Blender. And what you have to do is go into Material Editor. You'll see this one color here, and we're going to go down until we see textures, and then under diffuse texture we're going to go and navigate to our diffuse texture. Simple as that. Let's see here if I can find it. It's this one right here. So you load that one in. Again, it has to be in the same file location as the Collada file you imported, else it will not load into Model Converter X. Alright, so we got that one imported, and now if you want a night texture, you want to add your night texture right here. That's where you add that. Under night texture, navigate to our simple little night texture here, just for kind of more of this demonstration. Alright, so now if we go to the night preview here, so right now we're in texture render mode. If we go to texture night render mode, we should see that those lights, how that kind of works on your model. And that's a very basic lighting example. I wasn't getting too complicated there, but I mean, you could go all out in GIMP and, you know, very meticulously light things. And also, I'm working on trying to bake night lighting in Blender, kind of like you do with shadows, only a little different. You have a light source, and then Blender says, okay, the light would probably shine in this area of the hanger, and you can bake that to your texture. But I'm still working on figuring that out right now. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and export this. I'm going to say show map. One thing right now is that I didn't actually scale this hanger to any particular size. So I'm going to try and find, I'm going to go to Satellite. I'm not sure which one's going to work here. Big Satellite might work. There we go. And just scale it to one of these hangers, I guess. What the heck, we'll do it to this one. We'll rotate it. Gotta figure out which way we need to rotate it. If we set this to 0, okay. So we probably need to rotate it this way. I'm thinking it might be backwards, but alright. And we'll stick that like right here for now. And just take a look at it in Flight Simulator. So I'm going to go ahead and say convert. It might look a little large, but anyhow, like I'm saying, you'll want to kind of use you know, it's kind of preferred that you actually use the real dimensions of the hanger fairly close to them, and use that use the background image feature in Blender to add a background image and scale it correctly. But anyhow, let's see here. I'll just move it to this folder here. Let's see my texture. Better stop the video and let Flight Simulator load it up here just a second. Alright, so here's our hanger in Flight Simulator. It all looks right. Obviously it's probably about twice the size it should be, and again that's because I didn't scale it in Blender, I just eyeballed it. Probably should be more the size of these hangers over here, but Anyhow, let's go back over here. You'll notice nice shading in the overhang, or the thing under here. um, Obviously, you could put like some boxes or anything, you know, if there's a storing thing. You could even put like a little static aircraft inside there. Make it look kind of nice. I was thinking like I needed to add a door right over here on this side to make it look like there's a place to get inside the hangar. um, so yeah, I mean, it turned out pretty well. Obviously, this is not supposed to be. This is more supposed to be kind of a in the shadows type of hangar, you know, kind of off to the side. But it actually looks pretty good. A lot of nice shading. I'm gonna take. This is with Sweet FX on. There's a lot more contrast. Here it is with it off. It looks like a fairly worn hangar. And again, I would recommend, you know, spending as much time as a little more time on the textures. I'm just kind of giving you guys some ideas, and I didn't have, you know, didn't want to spend too much time on it myself. But you know, like on here on the edges, I would, you know, think about adding a little more detail to that, or like even inside here, instead of this regular plywood texture, I might even texture like rafters in there. But you know, there's whole sort of things you can do in here. I mean, you could add more of this kind of rust over here on the front. If I can get over there, my joystick's a little sensitive at the moment. You know, add more of this rust in there and stuff. Yeah, just a whole lot of things you could do. Well, at least while I'm here, why don't I just show you my other part of my model I was testing over here. This is the start to my 5th version of Spokane International Airport's terminal, and it's coming together pretty good actually. But I think the main thing is that the shading is just, you know, absolutely amazing compared to other programs. I mean, Gmax is fine, but I just don't have the. It just doesn't have the rendering capabilities that Blender has. So I'm pretty excited about this model. I think it's going to come together pretty nicely. But anyhow, thanks for supporting my channel. If you have any questions, just again comment or go to my Facebook page to kind of keep up to date on things. And like, comment, subscribe. Alright, thanks.